Hello and welcome to the Winter 2022 Athletic Assembly. It was 2 years since we played a winter athletic contest on our campus, and it felt really good to kick off the winter season with our first home games back on Saturday, December 4th. The winter season has its challenges with the bad weather and relying more heavily on indoor facilities, but there is also opportunity. The chance to ski on our hill under the lights after a fresh snowfall is something that is truly unique to Eaglebrook. The opportunity to pack the rink or the gym on a Saturday night to cheer on your classmates is something that you will remember for the rest of your lives. I hope all of you recognize the value of these opportunities and many others and take advantage of all that our athletic program offers. For the Winter Athletic Assembly, it is customary that we have an Eaglebrook alum come and speak. In the past, we have had Division I college lacrosse players, World Cup skiers, college baseball players, and professional hockey players come back to share their experience and how their time at Eaglebrook helped set them up for success in all areas of their lives. This year, we have the pleasure of hearing from someone that is not only an alum, but also an Eaglebrook faculty member. Tim Winslow came to Eaglebrook way back in 2005 as a tiny and energetic fourth former. He spent 3 years on the Hill and graduated somewhat taller and definitely more mature. I have fond memories of Tim during his time as a student, but I thought it would be fun to dive into the archives and see what his coaches thought about it. I wish there was something more embarrassing, but I found what I found. From his fourth form juniors football coach. Yeah, we used to have juniors football. We had 3 teams back in 2005 when Tim started here. From his fourth form juniors football coach. A natural leader from the start. Timmy, everyone called him Timmy back then. Timmy was virtually the voice of the team, and his on-field leadership was strong and accurate. He has a lot of natural game smarts. It may not be his most glamorous moment of the year, but I will always remember him for accurately reading the offense late in the third quarter against Cardigan, and for calling our first audible of the year without my prompting. He was already a coach in the works back then, I guess. I'll skip his fifth form varsity lacrosse comment, where Coach Worcester talks about how he needs to pay better attention during practice. And we'll move on and see what his sixth form varsity lacrosse coach had to say. Tim was our most mature and resilient attackman this season, always wanting to improve his game to benefit the team. I appreciated his questions and his dedication. When the ball came his way, he was willing to execute the proper play for the team. Little does he know, he was the key to the successful year this attack team had. And just to let you know, there was a player on that team named Jimmy Bitter, an attackman who went on to be an All-American at UNC. So pretty amazing that the coach said he was the most valuable attackman of the team. He was the unsung leader of his position, and I hope he is aware of the respect he earned from his peers, as well as his opponents. He's an eager learner, and I hope Tim will remember the lessons he learned these last 2 years as he looks to find success at the next level. He did go on to find success at the next level and the level beyond that. And we are all lucky that he is back finding success as an Eaglebrook faculty member. So without further ado, here's Coach Winslow.
My sixth form year of lacrosse was just going to where Jimmy Blair told me to go. Pretty easy. Wow. Well, I would first like to congratulate all of you for your winter sports team and an amazing season. You know, I told my team that it isn't really impossible for any of your coaches to understand the pressure and the stress that you guys have experienced since COVID really entered our lives. You guys are incredibly strong and truly great student athletes, and you make this former rookie very proud. And now I'm talking at the athletic banquet, so it's a pleasure and an honor, and mostly a surprise that I am up here. After my sixth form assembly, I was quite positive that I would never be asked to come up here on this podium again. But now you all get to listen to me talk about my favorite subject, and that's sports. So, sports are important. Sports are fun. Sports bring us all together when each of you put on that jersey. Sports provides us with the opportunity to grow and develop ourselves. Through sports, we're able to exercise our bodies and minds in different ways. For many, athletics provides an outlet for the competitive side. Practices and games allow you to challenge yourselves or an opponent in an arena where there will be a winner and a loser. Most importantly, sports teach us the most valuable life lessons. And to that, I would like to share some of the lessons I wish I had paid closer attention to when I went here. Lesson 1. Sports teach us how to be great teammates. In each sport offered at Eaglebrook, you become a part of something greater than yourself. You're a part of a team and a program. Through sports, we learn about the importance of buying into and being a part of a culture. Culture is described by many as the way a group or a team does things. These are the guiding principles or values that affect the decisions individuals make on a daily basis. We're part of that culture. Some examples of these are selflessness, explosiveness, relentlessness, never giving up. In sports, a team's culture can impact how a game or season goes. As Coach Davos Sweeney of the Clemson football program said, culture eats talent for breakfast. Many teams equate their success to their team's culture, but culture must be built. In my time with various sports teams at various levels, I have learned many things about building culture that I wish I knew when I went here. The first is that there are 4 stages that when a team gets built. They're forming, norming, storming, and performing. The first 3 of these stages, every single team will experience, no matter what. This is forming when tryouts and leaders are picked. Norming, when the roles are then normalized, and you have starters and people who do certain things better than others. And finally, you're going to get to the storming stage. This is the most challenging of all 4. This is when players begin to look inward at themselves. And they become critical of others and become upset or jealous of teammates and their roles. They start to focus on their own production. When I was at Eaglebrook, this stage seemed to always plague the winter sports teams, and it's now easy to understand why. Secondary school applications. As an underformer, you do not feel the outside pressure that secondary schools put on sixth formers. So it can be frustrating when an older player or a team leader loses focus of your team's goals or values. It's hard to know if it's your place to say something or not. It can be so obvious what is happening, yet nobody in your locker room, not even your coaches, will address the issue. For many teams, storming is a stage that you stay in the entire time and you never get out of it. The best teams, their teammates communicate about their conflict and their issues. And with strong leadership, they move through this stage and reach their peak performance. I cannot tell you how badly I wish I understood that all of these happen were normal, and that it was just communicating with your teammates that would help you. Knowing these stages will occur only as part of becoming a great teammate. On top of having this knowledge, it takes great self-awareness to be a great teammate. Self-awareness comes from a person's ability on a team to focus on the process over the outcome. I'll say that again. Self-awareness comes from a person's ability on a team to focus on the process over an outcome. That is gold right there. That is really what leads to success in the real world. Always find a role, any role, and be a superstar at it. An example of this in my life was during my senior year at the Governor's Academy. Back then, most mornings, I could go work out. In order to go to the gym, I'd walk through the basketball courts. Every single morning, I would see this scrawny sophomore who would have a rack of basketballs next to him. He would be working on his three-point shooting all morning long. People used to joke about the kid that was under 5'10" on the JV team that would work so hard to be a great JV three-point shooter. Well, that little kid's name was Duncan Robinson. And he never stopped being the best three-point shooter for his teams. He went on to hit clutch three-point shots for Williams College and Michigan University as they took both teams to national championship games. And he still is currently hitting three-pointers for the Miami Heat and cashing in on a $90 million contract. Duncan never focused on if he was starting or what time he was averaging or who was watching him. He focused on his role. Always find your role. Be a superstar at it. Be a great teammate. Lesson 2. Sports teach us how to deal with loss. There is one thing that only sports can prepare us for, is how to deal with loss. Loss occurs every day. When we experience loss, it's unpredictable. Other times, it's unexpected and most certainly unfair. But sports teach us that life is unfair, and that as much as we like to think we control all of the game, there will always be things that we cannot control. You've all experienced this in some fashion this year, be it the weather, sickness, officials, play of your opponent, or injuries. All of these things and others have come and changed the outcome of the game. That is why the focus on the process is so important. We all grow immensely from loss, more so than victory in my opinion. A player gains more from losing a rep in practice or a game because they're able to analyze why they lost, how they can try to make the next rep better, as well as using the lost rep or game as motivation to work harder. This is true in life. Yet, like in sports, it's not easy to see this in the moment when loss occurs. The beauty of sports is that it is a created arena where we can set goals to take on challenges and fail without actually losing very much. You have the ability to make any practice or game as important as you want. Yet, this created arena always will allow us to experience loss in different ways. You can lose a game. You can lose a teammate to injury or graduation. You could lose a whole season due to a pandemic, or you could not make a particular team. In those moments, we feel the raw emotions of loss, the awful pain, the anger, the sadness. When we experience this loss, sports teaches us that those emotions will never last forever, no matter how much it hurts in the moment. Sports teaches us that you will be okay, and how you decide to move forward is where the real growth happens. I never understood this until I began coaching. I hated to lose anything, and never fully appreciated that every time I lost was a little mini lesson in how to handle loss in the real world. The reality of life is that you all will, or maybe already have, dealt with real loss, and not a championship game, but losing a friend, a significant other, a job, or a family member. When these types of loss happen, the emotions are incredibly strong. At times, it can put you in a really dark place. It can make you feel so sad that you can't do anything. In those moments, you will find the many lessons that you learn in sports have prepared you for this. The emotions will eventually fade. There will be a tomorrow, just like there was another practice or another game. You will always have support, just like you always had your teammates. And you cannot blame anything on anyone else except for what you can control. Lesson 3. Sports teaches you how to develop a good work ethic. Being an athlete and a player allows us to commit ourselves to a craft or skill that requires mental and physical training. At Eaglebrook, we are all given the ability to try many sports, and in each we set personal goals for ourselves to focus on the process or possibly attaining them. For each of you, as an athlete, your goals will always vary. Many of you have been told that we all get the choice in how we will reach our goals, but this is untrue. Sports has taught me anything over the course of my life, it is this: there is only an illusion of choice. Successful athletes and successful people do not make choices because success leaves clues. Simply put, if you want to be a collegiate athlete, or own your own business, or maybe you want to be a successful musician, the people who have found success pursuing the same goals have left you a blueprint. This is a challenging concept to understand, especially for many of you who have lived in a world where you are given so many choices. Nick Saban, the head coach of the Alabama football team, puts it this way: young athletes today all think that they have this illusion of choice. Like, I can do whatever I want. And you have this generation now that doesn't always get told no. And they don't always get told this is exactly how you need to do it. So they have this illusion that they have all these choices. But the fact of the matter is, if they want to be good, really good, you don't have a lot of choices, because it takes what it takes. You do not have to, you have to do what you have to do to be successful. To help make this a little more clear, an example would be, if a student dreams of playing football in an Ivy League school, there are not many choices you make along that path. This student would not choose to do their homework or to play video games. There is no choice. People who become football players at Ivy League schools do their homework. Just like the student who wants to be the lead cellist in the band would not choose between going to their band practice or playing spike ball with their friends. A lead cellist goes to band practice. Similar to the story of Duncan Robinson, there are really no choices. They've already been made for you if you truly want to pursue your goals. An NBA player wakes up every morning and works on his skill set. There are no empty days if your goal is to be a professional at anything. And I say empty days because a day of rest or a day off has its purpose. The illusion of choice is something that I did not understand until I had finished my athletic career. Had I understood this, I would have pursued my athletics and personal goals much differently. I may have even set different, better yet, smarter goals for myself. Sports always has helped to cultivate a strong work ethic in individuals and teams by allowing us to better understand how we attain goals. We learn about how we must commit or sacrifice to being successful, and in doing so, we have a greater appreciation for those who selflessly have made our own personal goals theirs as well. These people are your parents or guardians who focus years of their lives towards you and your siblings having every opportunity available to them. Your coaches who prioritize your teams over their free time and even family time. All of the faculty who make their schedules flexible for your long road trips or early dismissals. And the staff and all the staff members who provide you with the cleanest facilities, the best equipment, and with the most amazing meals all season long. A strong work ethic grows from understanding what it takes to be successful and appreciating the process. Appreciating every day you play a sport and every rep you have. Eaglebrook's athletic programs provide you all with so many opportunities to develop yourself. The fact that all of you are fortunate enough to have a large part of your day dedicated to sports is amazing, and something you will miss when your playing days are over. Before that happens, remember to never allow yourself or your teammates to go through the motions of a practice or a game. If you do this, you are not simply missing out on an activity with friends where you can compete and have fun, but you just may miss a valuable learning opportunity. It is unpredictable when the opportunities to become more self-aware, practice your resiliency, be a great teammate, or develop a stronger work ethic will present themselves. So be ready. Listen to your coaches. Be open-minded and grateful for the wonders of Eaglebrook and sports. Thank you all, and enjoy your time together with your winter teams before we have a well-earned March break.
Thank you, Coach Winslow. One of the best parts of working here for a long time is when alums come back, whether it's to visit or to teach at work here, and pretty special to have some alums working here, and maybe someday one of you will be back here like that. So thank you, Coach Winslow. I'd like to build off what he just said, and I'd like for you all to give a round of applause to your coaches who worked so much with you this season. One more round of applause for March break, because I know we're all All right, so we'll head up to the dining hall. You'll sit by team, not yet, don't leave yet. All right, you'll sit by team. The seating charts are posted up by the dining hall on the doors as you go in, and then to the right when you go down the stairs into the seating area. Ski Patrol is nice enough to do KP for us tonight, so we thank you very much for that. We appreciate that.